Welcome to this session on practicing self-control in an Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum. Self-control is highly valued in Islam and recognized as an essential component of a believer's spiritual development. We will discuss the value of self-control in Islam and how to exercise it in this session. Self-control is a fundamental aspect of human nature which is essential for personal growth, spiritual development, and social harmony. In Islam, practicing self-control is considered a virtue and a means of achieving a higher level of consciousness and closeness to Allah. Muslims are taught to exercise self-restraint in all aspects of their lives, including their thoughts, speech, and actions. Islam teaches us that our body, mind, and soul are gifts to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is up to us how we use them. The secret to mastering these abilities and making the most of them is self-control. According to the Quran, successful believers are those who are humble in their prayers and who control their carnal desires. Extremism is discouraged in many areas of Muslim life, including eating, sleeping, and socializing. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "The greatest deed is that which is done regularly, even if it is small." Muslims are commanded to refrain from doing things that are bad for both them and other people. And do not kill yourself, the Quran commands. Surely Allah is kind to you. One of the most important aspects of self-control in Islam is the control of one's desires and impulses. Muslims are required to refrain from engaging in any form of behavior that is harmful to themselves and others. This includes avoiding excessive consumption of food, drinking, or other substances, as well as avoiding engaging in any sexual activity outside of marriage. Muslims are also expected to avoid engaging in any form of gambling, theft, or illegal activities that can harm society. Another essential aspect of self-control in Islam is the control of one's thoughts and emotions. Muslims are taught to avoid negative thoughts and emotions such as envy, anger, resentment, and to cultivate positive ones such as love, compassion, and forgiveness. This requires developing a strong sense of self-awareness and mindfulness, as well as engaging in regular spiritual practices such as prayer, fasting, and reading the Quran to help develop a strong sense of inner peace and tranquility. In addition to controlling one's desires and emotions, self-control in Islam also involves controlling one's speech and behavior. Muslims are taught to speak truthfully and respectfully, avoiding gossip, slander, and other forms of harmful speech. Muslims are also expected to treat others with kindness, compassion, and respect regardless of their background, beliefs, or social status. This requires developing a strong sense of empathy and compassion, as well as engaging in regular acts of charity and service to others. Muslims are urged to stay away from situations that could lead to sin, such as spending time alone with someone of the opposite sex or abusing alcohol. When you promised me 6 things on your part, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "I will guarantee you paradise." These 6 things are: when you speak the truth; when you promise, you keep it; Do believe in something, fulfill it. Your faith, avoid sexual immorality, lower your gaze, and keep your hands from iniquity. In Islam, we are called upon to curb evil thoughts as well as nurture good thoughts. This mighty is not he who dominates others by force, but he who controls himself when he is angry. Remark the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Self-control in Islam involves controlling one's physical actions and behaviors. Muslims are taught to avoid engaging in any form of physical aggression or violence and to resolve conflicts through a peaceful means. This requires developing a strong sense of patience and tolerance as well as engaging in regular physical exercise and other healthy habits to maintain good health and well-being. Overall, practicing self-control in an Islamic way requires developing a strong sense of discipline, self-awareness, and mindfulness as well as cultivating a deep sense of love and respect for oneself and others. By exercising self-restraint in all aspects of life, Muslims can develop a strong sense of personal responsibility and accountability and contribute to a more peaceful, harmonious, and compassionate society. Muslims believe that developing self-control requires the guidance and support of Allah. To guide our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we should seek guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. According to the Quran, then seek help through patience and supplication, for it is difficult except in humble submission. A good example of practicing self-control in an Islamic way is that of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was a perfect example of how to practice self-control and restraint in the face of adversity. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was known for his patience, tolerance, and self-control in all matters of life. He was known to never give in to anger or rage, even when he was provoked or wronged. He would remain calm and collected and would instead show mercy and forgiveness. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was firm in his self-control, and when it came to his desires, he would never give in to temptation and instead would focus on his faith and on his mission of guiding people to the right path. He would never compromise his standards and beliefs and would instead strive to remain steadfast in his faith. The Prophet was known for his restraint when it came to his conversations. He would never speak out of turn or say anything that was inappropriate or offensive. He was known to always speak in a gentle, polite manner and to use carefully chosen words that would not offend anyone. The Prophet was also known for his self-control in his actions. He would never act impulsively or rashly and would instead take his time to consider all options before taking any action. He would also never act out of revenge or hatred and would instead forgive those who wronged him and show mercy to those in need. The Prophet was also known for his self-control when it came to his relationships. He would treat everyone with respect and kindness regardless of their social or economic status and would never show favoritism to anyone. He was known to always be fair and just and to never use his power and influence to gain any form of advantage. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a perfect example of how to practice self-control and restraint in an Islamic way. He was known to never give in to anger or temptation and would instead focus on his faith and mission.